really, really good. We got all the R's into chat. I'm going to throw mine in there as well. I think that means we're actually going to be going live round 1, best of 1 Kungarna versus Spot Up Blank.
So, we're starting the day off strong here in the first round of the day. I am unbelievably excited to get this on the way. Especially we've got already a named team in here with Kungarna. Remix finally got that black screen sorted out. It didn't bode well to begin with, but look at that. It's been sorted so unbelievably quickly, and we're going straight into split. Now, you mentioned this map has a lot of high ground. It does. What I find this map a little bit more difficult is the fact that the sites are not so cut and dry. We take a map like Just 2 from CS. There's a lot of ways to approach both those sites. You can go through tunnel, short, long, A long, as well as B main, right? On this site, on Split, for instance, B only has one entrance to the site, as well as A only has one clear entrance. Other than that, middle's very much split off from both those sites, and taking control of that's pretty important for a lot of these teams.
And guys, just as a heads up as well, the spectator mode in this game is still a little bit iffy. So if you're watching maybe for the first time, or even if you're used to watching Valorant but you haven't really watched anything from a spectator point of view, so not just a player point of view, things are still kind of work in progress here. So a very early, I guess, advanced apologies if things don't look 100% yet from the spectating side of things, but we will do our best as we're going to see the opening round, the opening pistol come through, and Kungarna defending first. Spot Up on the red team, who are going to be attacking. Going to be following Hex T early as we're going to be potentially moving towards B in mid.
Yeah, B looks like the place to go. Brimstone looks like he's already got the sky smokes out and ready. These last 15 seconds, so they are the longest lasting smoke in the game. Second coming in closest, Omen with his 10-second smoke, so they can really execute onto a site quite clearly. But Cypher, again, solo holding on B, he can do this very well with trap wires, as well as the free cam that he gets early on in the game.
We're just seeing what the offense wants to do here. Bunny was considering, dropping a little bit of utility to get through again on pistols. Can be hard to tell. Ghosts mainly on the defender side. Only 2 ghosts for the attacking team, so quite a bit more money being spent on defense so far.
In come the smokes already. There's a dart through, flash around the corner. Immediately, Remix goes down and looking towards heaven. But that's a beautiful smoke off there, Avril. Absolutely no one's looking through heaven. Already the utilities coming through, and Raze is lobbing the paint shells towards heaven side, knowing that there's a few players up there.
And we're just saying to have a look at where this defense is going to come through. The good news is they've managed to rotate very quickly. Buds attempts to perhaps walk through the smoke here, but there are players on all sides. And now this is going to be the entry now. Stolzy dropping in first. Mo as well, getting that kill onto Viz. And that's going to be the trades onto Bunny Hext. Only 1 to 2 players down and a single player alive on that offense. Attempting to come through heaven. It's not going to be good enough. An early defuse and an early round win coming through for Kungarna.
Very smart play from Moetorius there. I think that looking at that, the smokes out of the back of sight from him on the Brimstone were really important, because it actually allowed them to quickly and carefully take control of CT as well as sight and then back right. I think that's really, really important to consider, especially on your pistols. If you can lock down those angles early on, especially with the sky smokes, after he saved them for pretty much the majority of the round, it's a smart retake there from them, and it looks like they were always intending to just give up that site as soon as Cypher went down.
And what you like to see as well is how quickly the rotation is coming through from the defense, and the crossfire is being set up there as well in terms of opening up from different angles, making sure you had buds coming through from spawn. And heading into round 2 now, weapons on the side of the defense and none for the offense as they're attempting to make their way through to mid.
So mollies and paint shells comes over into ropes. There's no one currently in here, so they have cleared that out so they can take the angle on heaven. One more player up there from the defending side.
Remix is in a position where he can make some trades happy. He's been flashed out super early. He's going to lose guns here. This is absolutely disastrous for the defending team, considering that they actually bought some weapons. Those guns are now going over towards the side of Spot Up, who now have a couple of SMGs, 3 SMGs and a pistol. B is going to be the site where plant is going to happen again. It's 2 versus 4 blank.
Yeah, this is a really difficult retake here, especially with the weapons that were afforded to the attacking side, and a recon bot coming through. The same smokes once again clearing off the back of sight, meaning they do have to take tight and close angles, but it's okay for them. They've got SMGs coming out of heaven right now. Moatoris finds one. It's just the Sage remaining. An excellent eco round from the attackers there. A thrifty coming through.
And they recovered 3 weapons as well. This is really big now. They may not want to hold on to all the Spectres. You can see across the board, 5 to 6 grand for most of these players on spot, which means they can go for rifles, full armor. They can go for a full bike here. And that's kind of what we're seeing. 2 of the members already picking up Phantoms. The rest of them are actually still holding on to these Spectres, which you can respect because, you know, they're just saving a little bit more money while still getting the armor and the utils.
Yeah, and they can afford to use these SMGs, especially versus the defending team who've just been reset all around about 2k credits, so they have to save to make sure they can get a full buy on the 4th round should they lose this one. But obviously, we just saw an eco round win versus a full buy, so we might actually potentially see something similar once again.
It's going to be a 3 towards B and tower setup versus the 4 in mid, 2 on A versus 1. And so far, teams just kind of feeling each other out. Again, you are looking at a eco coming through from Kungarna. One of the players, Remix, is going to be moving over towards A, and by now you've kind of lost tower control, sort of, but Remix could be picking up a couple here through the vents. It's actually going to go down super fast. He actually even had the shorty. That was nearly an excellent play from him.
Yeah, 2 shots, 2 kills potentially there. Orbital Strike comes down pretty damn early. This will find the kill onto Stolzy, but it's the defending side opening up huge.
We'll see what Buds can do again. He doesn't really have a weapon. He doesn't see the members as well. It's going to be 2 versus 2 Viz. Has the runner back available and is going to win that trade against Buds, which means it's only 1 member remaining. His name is VALORANT for some reason. We'll see if he can live up to the hype, if he can live up to the name, because that's a pretty heavy one. It's heavy enough that unfortunately this is not going to be their round. Kungarna now are down 2 after having won the pistol. So you're in a situation now where momentum is definitely shifting towards spot up.
Yeah, spot up doing a really good job. I mean, now it's up to the defending side to pull this one back because the economy is really getting out of control for spot up. We expected Kungarna to do quite well. They're a well-known team within the esports sphere, and Remix is no novice to esports whatsoever. But they're trying to take mid-control once again. This seems to be working out well for them. Immediately, though, you are going to see the defending team throwing the paint shells towards the mid-side. It's a full buy for both teams. This is a really crucial round.
Well, we'll see what VALORANT can do. He is going up against now the run it back. Coming through from Viz. XT will take him down. Slight slowdown there. Only lost an ultimate if you are spot up. You're in the position now where Stolzy's in a bit of trouble as well. He's been flashed. 3 members pushing him. Easy headshots. And B is going to be the name of the game. Remix trying to hold on to things. You're in another 5 versus 2. We've seen this before, Blank, and it didn't go well for them last time.
It's just so methodical here. Only 1 player remaining. It is Buds. He's got the Phantom, so he is able to play nice and close here, but he will just save it for the time being, which is probably the smart choice, going with the A site. I think if we take a look at his gear as well, he has the wall as well as a slow, so he's going to hold on to at least another 400 credits worth.
And this is where, if you are Kungarna as well, at least going to next round, you are going to have full loss bonuses at 2,900 credits. So holding onto a Vandal, he's actually swapped over to a Vandal now. At least he's had that the whole time, I can't even remember, but holding on to this rifle nonetheless is going to be very important for this defense to kind of come back now. Staying alive here, he's just hidden inside sewers, no one spots him. 5 alive though, Blank, on spot up. They didn't lose anybody, they didn't lose any money, didn't lose any guns.
Yeah, 3rd round, like, already Viz is capped out on cash almost at 11k. You got HexT at 9,100. It's going to be hard to break the economy on the side of spot up going forward. Kungarna here opting to buy round Stolzy, who has the Vandal so graciously given to him by Buds, and VALORANT will pick up a Bulldog. So they are really intending to win this round right now. So if they lose this one, it's going to be crushing going forwards.
I will be honest though, this is a round where you can potentially afford a force because you're already at max loss bonus. You are getting 2,900 even for losing, so it's honestly probably not that bad to just pick up a few extra guns, see if you can make it happen now. You don't want momentum to shift too hard onto into Spot Up's favor rather. And now let's take a look at mid again. Like, this is just where all the action's been.
And Spot Up had just been taking easy control of it. That's the first pick from Remix. That was really important for him, but the Orbital Strike will just remove him from the entire map, just obliterated there. And instantly, they're moving down, inside, outside B, and they're just going to push through B main here, knowing that the rest of the players are situated towards Heaven side. They can just hold them off. You can see the Phoenix on the attacking side just holding close.
And Viz has such a great angle if he wants to take it. He's looking over towards the connector into tower, is going to find an easy shot onto Buds, and now deciding to push in as well. 4 versus 1, actually loses the duel to Mo, who already has a rifle, so it's not like he's going to get any upgrades here. I do wonder, is he going to go for the potential 1 versus 3? He has been spotted out. There's no way he can get into this safely, and Hexed with the flank on the side and the easy shots from the Vandal means it's going to be 4 to 1. The defenders, Kungarna here, are still on a loss streak.
You would say that I think the biggest thing that Spot Up are doing very well is they're not afraid to take ground. They're not afraid to take map control whatsoever. HexT pushes all the way through CT up into Heaven to take him out. I mean, he has a lot of trust in his teammates to follow up on that kill should he go down, but so far this has been very much attacker-sided. I mean, this map is quite difficult to defend, quite difficult to attack at the best of times, and I think a lot of that comes down to them losing mid control so easy early on.
We are seeing a lot more aggression coming through from Kungarna this time around. Stolzy just going to start walking up, but look at Hexty's angle. He's got the one onto the left. Does he make the trade happen? Stolzy gets 3. Can he make it 4 in a row? He's going to have to find a couple more members that are hanging around the side. Viz and Figment still alive, and Stolzy is going to pull out the showstopper, actually misses the rocket, and gets taken down as well. Blank went into a 1v1. Mo versus Figment. Guns being picked up on both sides, and look, Spike is down.
Spike is down, but it's just out of LOS of the defending side. He doesn't know it's currently there. Moving into B side, this could be the round here for the Renders. It is! Mo picks it up. A nice cheeky little round there, and a lot of it comes down to that mid control we were talking about earlier. They sent 3 guys, they pushed down early. HexT picks up the double, but Stolzy returns in kind with that 3K.
And you can imagine what could have been if Figment was in a position to recover that spike. He maybe gets a plant down. That then becomes a very difficult retake scenario for Mo. It's a 1v1, and he's working against the clock here. So the fact that you have a mid situation where Stolzy picks himself 3, very narrowly misses a rocket onto Viz. That could have been 4th. That could have been a 2 versus 1. Not that Kungarna needed the 2v1 at the end of the day, but they could have held on to another gun.
Well, they could. Sad for Kungarna, but this is a good round for them to take. Obviously, their loss bonus will be removed, so it's pretty critical now that they do win this round to maintain momentum on that economy, because it still looks fairly bad right now. Rolling Thunder comes through, but HexT still finds the shot.
Stolzy is now going to come out through the cover using the Orbital Strike to just get himself into this mid location. Figment's going to be able to take him down, and now this is a scenario where mid is still under a lot of contention. 2 members from Kungarna trying to see if they can still get in there, but you actually have action now developing towards B with Viz now approaching. He's already onto site, potentially a 1v1 with Remix. Actually gets a nice angle onto him. Now this should be the plant.
Oh my lord, Viz just played do-si-do with Remix there around the pillar in the middle. He had no idea that he was in CT, and he's probably kicking himself in the shins for that one.
And I expected this to come through as well. The res from Buds onto Stolzy, making this one a potential, I was going to say 3 versus 4, but because you had him in a position where Mo went down, it's now back to a 2v4. None of these 2 have an ultimate to work with anymore. Guns on both sides though, and they're both approaching from tower. The position will be revealed now, and that's going to be Buds down super early. Stolzy has to recover this one. It's his 3rd kill of the game so far, but he's not going to be able to pick up number 4. And he still would have had to get 5 as well. He would have had to get the full ace there, Blank, if they wanted to recover.
I think a lot of that actually comes down to Mo. I think, sure, he pushes CT, gets a little bit of information, but he could have waited a bit longer for the res to come through. If that was the strategy there, Avril, and get them to push Heaven whilst he pushed B main. Regardless, he takes a 1v4 fight, which ends in disaster for his teammate who invested Resurrect on a round that really that Resurrect was meant to be making that round winnable for them, but instead it just crushes their economy slightly further and they're forced into another awkward buy situation.
It goes from winnable to not so much in just a flick of a switch. We're actually seeing a lot of these defenders come through Kungarna, are raiding through mid, now into sewers to see what they can find. And all they do find is a lot of bullet holes coming through. Tucker's going to be delivering that one, and now we have 3 defenders just kind of trapped here. I'm not sure if Spot are completely aware of the positioning, so there could be potential. Tucker's got to find out the hard way. And now this is going to be a potential cleanup here. A bunch of members just stuck, no guns. Stolzy's actually going to at least make things interesting, but he's not going to survive long enough.
Yeah, picks up the gun just a little bit too late in the cocking animation. Viz drops around the corner and will put him down, and now just the Sage Buds remaining with a shorty in hand. He can only place close angles. He knows there are weapons in sewers, but Viz, he understands that's probably the only approach, so he's holding close in sewers right now.
Oh, Figment doesn't see this. He might get taken by the shorty, but he doesn't. Turns around in time. Buzz just misses a couple too many shots. If Buzz knew he had the drop on Figment, could have maybe approached that one a little bit slower, got a little bit closer for the tire to spread, and I'll be honest with you, Shorty's hard to use, and he had to go for something. But that wasn't going to be the play at the end of the day, and now 6-2 the score line. And you have to start talking about the fact that lost bonuses got reset when Kungarna won the round in the middle, but because they only got one and they couldn't get the further rounds, they can't get the extra money.
Yeah, now this is why we're seeing that ults are really crucial in Valorant, and how you use them cautiously. They're very important for resetting the economy or making sure your economy can go forward. Run it back is used nice and early, runs directly through the smokes, tries to get some information, but it looks like this time the defenders are just completely giving up the mid area. Regardless, they're just going to hold some close angles towards the sites and allow the attackers to push up into heaven.
Valorant is the only one in heaven right now. He's going to get taken down. Starting to see Stolzy come through for the rotation towards B. There is no control on tower at this point in time. Hex T on the other side of the map is actually going to pick up one. Gets traded very quickly. And Figment might be there to get the counter trade, but actually if you look at the situation now, Buds is caught between quite a few members, and they don't know he's there. That means he can get 2. It's his 3rd kill of the game so far. Bunny's going to take him down, but falls shortly afterwards. And now this is starting to look very winnable for Kungarna.
Yeah, it was a huge play from Buds. If that did not happen, they could have all flitted out onto A, and then it's a really hard retake scenario. He's in ropes, finds the first, finds Stolzy. Clutch play from Figment to make this 7-2. An awful round for Kungarna. So winnable. But just taking those fights one by one allows Figment to clean that round up.
I'll be honest with you, at least we're into once more full loss bonuses for Kungarna, which means they should be able to buy. I mean, they got 2,900 from that last round. Starting to look through the inventories now. We're seeing armor come through. We're seeing a few guns there, rifles, SMGs. You may have a judge on Buds as well. Buds has been very much favoring a lot of these shotguns so far. We saw him on the shorty not even that long ago, remember?
Yeah, I mean, with Sage, it's actually pretty good because of the wall. You can almost artificially create close angles for yourself to use the judge with. But again, Sage has been pretty much left alone on that A site most of the time playing those retakes. So you expect them to flood out onto B, and then Sage has to play this really difficult scenario from a judge in heaven or CT.
We're seeing a lot of Kungarna actually moving now towards the B side. Stolzy attempted a showstopper play, but it was stopped up pretty quickly. He hit nobody. Through the smoke now, let's see if something can happen. As looking through at the moment, it's Tucker on the other side, and Stolzy just waiting for him to walk on through as the rest of Spot Up are going to start moving through to B.
Both raises on either side of the wall. Which will get a raised first? That's the real question. Out on the side already, Valorant immediately gets the aftershock through, will take down Viz. Now 2 players pushing outside of B. The smokes will keep them covered from heaven for the time being, and Stolzy finds Tucker and Mo with a great deagle shot straight to the head there. Valorant will pick up Bunny. Now 1 remaining. It's just Figment on the site behind the pillar. Can he find the last? Will find Figment, however. Now 3v1. Figment again, the player that found the 2v1 last round. Can he make it happen again here, Avril?
He's going to have to keep this win streak going. Recon drone just to spot out positioning. He knows it all into tower now, or at least he knows there's a couple in there. Gets the first shot under Buzz, makes things ever so slightly better. Reminder that he does not have the plant just yet. Looking for that now, at least baiting it through. He's been flashed. Can he survive? The answer is no, Blank. 3-7 is going to be the score.
Very smart play from Kungarna there to wait it out. Knowing the Figment could probably get that 3v1, they took it very cautiously. 4 seconds on the clock, he goes for the plant, and they push afterwards, knowing that he can't possibly win versus 2v1, especially when just coming out of that plant animation. So very well played there. Kungarna played it nice and slow with some excellent little picks onto mid-side. Looks like they're giving it up much more freely right now. Rather than taking those close angles where Hex T can mow them all down and give up a lot of picks early on, and they can do whatever the hell they want with those picks, regarding to keep 5v5 is alive, which is much more important to them right now.
Yeah, it's going to be 2v2 on the side of A and 3v3 towards mid as well. Hex T thinking about walking through that smoke, and as a reminder, mid was kind of where the offense was lost last time. They couldn't quite push on through. Banded that one and allowed Kungarna to get the rotation over towards B Tower, which helped them win. But now, speaking of rotations, you're actually seeing many members moving towards this A side.
Fizz takes down Valorant. Remix with the quick refrank though. Out comes the drone. Sage is just on the other side. The drone has not actually spotted out Sage right now. Didn't look at him. The judge is here. Finds a spike carrier. Can he find one more? There's Figment on the drone. Tries to come out in time, but does not find it. That is the judge, the jury, and executioner on the Sage.
And Buzz is making the shotgun do wonders right now. Hex T is just sweating because he has no idea where anyone is. He figures there's someone around the corner, and Mo is just right there waiting to be taken down. But Buds is still alive. Buds is now upgraded onto the Phantom as well. Hex T has got a lot of work to do ahead of him. And Buds, he's going to be the man of this particular round. Having that sneaky angle, hiding behind his own wall. The recon drone for Figment doesn't spot it. And the judge just goes through and smacks that hammer down.
Incredible little round there. I mean, to be fair to Figment, when you're on that owl drone, you don't expect to check the angle on the last remaining almost destroyed Sage. Well, that's just ridiculous.
You're in the best possible situation now if you are recovering from this defender side. 5-7 is what they can end the scoreline on for this first half, Blank, and that would be a pretty decent comeback considering how poorly those middle rounds went.
Indeed, Sage just needs to really stay alive this round as well to get that resurrect through. Neural Threat is on the board, so they can find out where all the players are. But first, they have to get that opening pick, which so far Kungarna haven't really been known too much for. Valorant going down very early a lot.
Well, this has actually been caught by the trap wire. That's not going to be good for him. And the Cyber Cage as well going to be slowing down this entire offense. That's going to be the ultimate expended and gone. Tucker is at least going to get one with his own showstopper there. 2 kills for him so far. And now a huge push on towards B. Expecting the plant to come through any second now.
Yeah, 4 fly up mid there, Avril, knowing that there's only a few players that play on Heaven's side and they're playing much more heavily towards A and mid. This is unfortunate. Rez could come through potentially onto Valorant now, will give them the opportunity to have the breach flashes as well as the aftershock on the site. But again, now they're playing against the clock, Avril.
And Bunny is in position for the first play to come through. He's been dazed though, so things are going to be very difficult. Still gets Bud super early, nice shots onto Stolzy. But now let's see what the rest of the members can do. Figment is going to go down as well. It's down to a 1v1, and Tucker's going to take it through 8-4. It could have been the 5-7 Blank, but we're actually going to see a pretty decent lead coming through from Spot Up early on.
Great little round there from Mo. Sadly, it does not come to bear. And so far, one Spot Up are actually doing an absolute genius of a job here, playing these rounds perfectly, switching up the tactics according to the positions on the map. I'm really loving what we're seeing so far.
Yeah, going through for the next pistol now. It does seem so far, at least this time around, when you consider Spot being up by so many. Look, they were on the attacker side. There's now going to be an opportunity for Kungarna on the attacking side to do very much the same. I do think some parts of this map there, in theory, when you look at the size of this map, how far away the two sites are, being on attack and really being focused on one particular site and having utils down there and executing can get you a very good entry.
Does indeed. This time though, it looks like Kungarna are going to try and do the exact same. Take some control in mid. Paint shells go through into ropes. And now you will see Buds moving down into sewers, seeing what you can see over on that A side.
And they are kind of just exploring. They're trying to figure out, okay, well, what kind of angles can we work with here? They're not quite content with moving through the sewers now. They are now congregating back towards mid. Still 3 spotted members there to greet them through those doors, and you know, both teams just kind of taking this one slow. 1 minute left to go, so you are needing to see Kungarna make some moves soon.
So as both paint shells now out, curveball goes through, but Viz will go down, won't even get a chance to use the second. Brimstone currently in heaven, but a lot of players have moved over to this middle side. They've been given a lot of time here, and Figment is now walled off from the stage.
Bunny nearly had a really good angle there, takes the first kill into Stolzy, but gets traded back by Remix, and now a situation where you are looking at Figment, you are looking at HexT. These have been 2 pretty big players for the team, for the side of Spot Up so far, and they're going to need to get some magic done here on the opening pistol the second half if they want to recover.
Very difficult to retake versus a specific team comp with flashes, smokes, as well as trapwires on board. Like you say, if anyone can do it, it's HexT and Figment here, Avril.
HexT has the Ghost as well. Figment doesn't actually have one. He's still on the Classic. Opening Recon Dart is actually going to spot out 1 member, but it's not going to be good enough. Buds, he was baiting towards the back there, but Valorant had the angle. No one checked rafters, and that's going to cost you if you spot up. And that's going to give now the 5th round, the one that was denied in the previous half, over to Kungarna finally.
Yeah, you just have to be so cautious in that situation there, Avril. As you move on to side, you're playing against trapwires, you're playing against cyber cages, you've got the flashes and the fault lines to work with. It's a very, very tough retake for HexT here, and really all they have to worry about, really all they have to work with is the recon ball. And sure, you can find out exactly where they are, but can you deal with the utility they bring out afterwards, which is where Kungarna's team comp really does start to shine, but it still does mean they have to get onto the sites.
Well, HexT and Co are going to make a very aggressive push towards mid. And what you often do see if you are ecoing on the defender side is perhaps just stacking together and making use of these pistols is the right move to make. And now they can start to recover potentially a few of these guns that have been bought. I mean, there's not some major guns here, but they need to start looking for these bodies.
Stolzy gets the paint shell onto Viz. Bunny goes down also. Kungarna looking pretty strong here, so despite the rough start, they could start to push onto site. Sage is just checking all of A right now, calling for the team to push through. But surely Tucker knows this. If you actually run through CT like this, the attacker spawn, sorry, you can actually hear them from middle, which is why you see Tucker rotating so quickly through sewers.
And he's going to be able to pick up a gun finally. Spectre on the floor, and that was the problem earlier on, as he eventually does go down to Valorant. No time to plant here, so that's 1,500 creds that they would have liked if you are Kungarna, but interesting play. Decent risk being taken there by Spot Up. I mean, if you rush mid, you got the pistols. If you can get some early kills, you can pick up some potential Spectres and maybe Bullpups there, or Bulldogs rather. But the kills they got were so far away, they couldn't recover the guns in time. They were still stuck with pistols, and then they were kind of stuck really aggressively in mid, and the aggression was just well handled by the side of Kungarna to still hold on to that, and now they're starting to close the gap as well, 6 to 8.
Yeah, like you say, the gap is closing. Slowly but surely, 6 to 8 no longer seems like such an unwinnable value anymore, as opposed to 8 to 4, which it was just earlier. Kungarna looking towards B side, just holding cautiously. You have Sage, as well as Remix on the Cypher towards sewers, now pushing up. Paint Shell goes through to clear out ropes.
And you're seeing Spot Up as well, kind of just sniffing the potential for mid. 3 are just hanging around all of the connectors there, 2 into tower control as well. Even HexT can rotate very quickly towards mid if need be, but he is just keeping eyes onto A, just in case Buds wants to be able to push through, and Stolzy and Co have kind of been spotted out now by the fact that a recon dart was being put out by Figment.
Flashes come through. Owl Drone as well as So much utility used in mid just to clear this, but it has worked. HexT has actually found Buds over on A side. This makes it a little bit more difficult. Defenders can start to crunch towards that A side push, knowing there's about 4 members in mid. They can start to control a much larger area of the map now.
It's going to make things more difficult for them to apply pressure elsewhere. Mo's going to get flashed super fast, and that's going to be the hit now coming through from Defenders. Flawless round. And we talk about swinging things back. That was 2 in a row for Kungarna before Spot Up finally open up with the gun round. We get to 3 rounds after the half. First was a pistol going towards Kungarna, then the initial buy, the half buy for Kungarna as well, against a save and eco coming through from Spot Up. But as soon as we get into the first gun on the second half blank, it all goes the way of Spot Up.
Falls apart. And now, like you say, it is Kungarna. Kind of a terrible buy on this side, and they will just opt for a couple of sheriffs here. A bit of the Shiko round. Moving through to A side, rushing this very, very quickly. HexT gets the spot though. Stolzy goes down first, but VALORANT quickly in. Has to deal with Figment in window.
Viz now, the only member still alive here. He's going to attempt to make a couple things, a couple trades perhaps happen. 2 versus 4, 1 now versus 3 rather. And Viz, he's going to be alive. The defenders are going to be able to take this one through. It is now a second round in a row for Spot Up. Just able to respond from the A aggression so well. You could see that there was a big risk being taken. I say big risk, but it was a very well measured risk coming through from Kungarna, where they knew, okay, we are on another eco. Let's try rushing a point. Let's try going towards A. Sheriff's in hand. If we can get there quickly enough, trade for some rifles, that'll be worth it. That'll be a potential plant that can get us back in the game.
Exactly. I mean, I think you're so right. I mean, you mentioned earlier when we saw Spot Up find some kills in mid, they couldn't actually reach the rifles, but with HexT playing so close and Buds knowing that from dying to him earlier, they know they can pick up that rifle early on and try and go for the pick on window side. Again, heavy mid push with full buy coming out from both teams, clearing out ropes once again, and here's the showstopper.
Figment is going to be looking for the potential of the Hunter's Fury here. He knows a lot of members mid, perhaps tagging a couple, but he just needs to secure these kills. Note that Tucker had lost the showstopper earlier, couldn't quite find the value onto that. Speaking of showstopper, we still have one on the side of Kungarna. Stolzy is still prepared to use this when necessary.
Figment now dropping out the recon bolt into mid once again, getting that value through very, very quickly.
Viz! Oh my goodness, that was 3 in a row. He had the Sage Wall to prop him up as well. And that's going to keep the defending side still into this game. HexT is going to have to hold off the 2 remaining players coming through now from Connector. Spike is going to go down. Bunny had an angle. Where was that? Bunny is just going to go and completely stifle any remaining push coming through from Kungarna.
Absolutely snuffed out. So sad as well, because the free kill on Viz, you can either call it skillful or a little bit lucky, because it was actually Buds' wall that props him up in the corner over here accidentally. He's just not expecting to be holding the angle and get on top and then just absolutely mow them down from the top side. An unfortunate round there from Kungarna. I don't think that could have gone any more poorly, even if they tried for it.
Well, it could have been a flawless. They at least made some trades, and there's only potentially 2 rounds left in this half, and in the map itself blank. We're in a position where 1 more going the way to Spot It means match point, and Kungarna have a lot of catching up to do and not a lot of time to do it.
4 ultis on board with potential of only 2 rounds remaining. You'd expect them to use something this round. Now, a Rolling Thunder would be decent, dropping out through mid-side, probably to ropes, and clearing out Figment, who plays in there all the time. So there's the first one coming through, but it's just clearing out on the side of mid.
It's going to be as well Orbital Strike being used, a lot of ultimates being expended now from Kungarna, understanding the severity of their situation. A kill into Figment here will be so good for their team. Spike is still being carried though from, who is it over here? Remix, who might actually get taken down if he's not too careful, but now as the rotation starts to move towards Tower of B, Spike's still alive. They could get a plant here.
Run it back out from Viz. We'll find one, we'll find another, and that's it, over! So clean. Did not look for Figment behind that. What a round. I think Figment's just got such an easy route of retreat through ropes into A site that it's so hard to clean him out of that room, and he's a constant threat even when they want to try and push on the A side. And that's 3 ultimates down from Kungarna and nothing done with the match point here now, Avril, on 6-12. This is a pretty convincing game from Spot Up right now.
And Figment, his job is to give information to his team. You can see that, like you said, playing ropes. If he just gives that info over, uses Recon Dart and the drone as well, he allows his team to throw the nades and to slow the pushes through the mid. And that's basically been how this game is going. You do now see that Kungarna are going to go for one last Hail Mary play. They are attempting to just rush through A, but they don't have full information. They don't know how many defenders are there. Figment has his drone destroyed, and I believe now information should be over to Spot Up that it is going to be an imminent A hit.
And immediately you see Figment rotate through ropes to the back of site so he can provide information with that Recon Dart. And slowly but surely it looks like attacking team are going to rotate through sewers. This is such a smart play. By doing this, they've removed Figment, who is such a thorn in their side, from rope side. Now they only have to deal with the Raze, who is currently playing in here.
It's Tucker and Viz, the 2 members of mid. A little bit of indecisiveness. I think they're just trying to force Spot Up to rotate against them, this counter rotate back to mid, but as soon as that happens, and by the way, you have a lot of noise being made by Stolzy while that's happening. The bomb has gone all the way back over towards A, and you've just got Hex. Hex can make something happen here. 1 on to Mo. He's going to be able to just slow things down ever so slightly. That's 3 in a row. Like this could be it. We're in the final round, perhaps. It's all down to 1 player, and he's not going to survive. Stolzy is going to end up going down as well, 13-6, closing up our first game of this tournament, the first game of the $1,500 Juked GG in a quick cup.
And it looks like Spot Up here, Avril, are a bloody good team, to say the least. HexT, there was some extremely good play from him. He was very stalwart on A, despite them not going there very often. Every time they did, HexT was able to bash them out. But I think the key player for me for this entire match has to be Figment. I think where you've got a server who provides information so freely like that all the time is a terrifying thing to contend with here, Avril.
It was a tough game indeed for Kungarna. And some tough rounds in there as well. I think that first half, when they were defending, that was what was especially difficult. The amount of rounds they lost in a row in that early half as well. As they only won 3 rounds, I believe, if I'm looking at the information correctly now. No, actually, they won the first opening pistol, then they got a couple in the middle. They ended up with 4. So 4-8 was where they had to start the second half with, and I think that was just a deficit that they could not close.